We're up to the third caution of the day. It happened when Jeff Green spun at turn number 4. Tommy Houston just made a pit stop, and they took 4 rounds of bite out of the right rear of his car. Tracy Leslie's on pit road, and Glenn Jarrett still. Kenny Wallace is still parked in the pits. Glenn?
Yeah, he's parked in the pits. He's got company in the car now. There's 2 crewmen in there with him. They have changed the entire ignition box on this car. The backup box wouldn't work. They simply cannot get the car to fire. It hadn't struck a lick since I've been standing here for the last 5 or 6 minutes. So they've really got a serious problem. And Kenny's just sitting there hanging his head. He can see that point lead melting away.
Boy, that's a helpless feeling too. You know, they've got some good mechanics down there, and it's not something that can just be fixed overnight. They've got to do a lot of work on that electrical system. If the backup system doesn't crank it, then they got all the wiring system they got to work on. So it's not going to be easy to fix.
There's nothing you can adjust. There's nothing you can hammer on. There's nothing you can do but replace the whole thing.
Replace it, and it's not easy to do.
Here's a bonnet. David by name was having himself a good run back there. Kind of had drifted back from the lead pack, but he is still on the lead lap and giving a good account of himself today.
Yeah, just keep that thing in one piece for a while. We'll see what happens after a while.
Okay. 35 laps complete. We're back under green. Good jump by Bobby Labonte. Up and underneath from the lap cars. He's right behind Jeff Gordon, and traffic gets a little tough a little further back as Green fades back in the field. And Tommy Houston after that pit stop trying to work his way up through. They're going to shuffle Tom Peck in the running order. Chuck Bown roughs him up a bit as they come off turn 4. All chasing Jeff Gordon.
They're black flagging one car. I couldn't really tell which number it was, Mike, as they went on the flag stand. They got one of them black flagged.
It was either Jimmy Spencer or Jeff Burton. We'll see.
I see Tommy Houston pulling to the inside. I don't know if he's got a problem or they're black flagging him.
Tommy Houston getting the black flag, that is. And he'll come back to pit road, this time under the green. There's Jeff and Ward Burton, Bobby Dotter, and David Bonnet working underneath Jeff Green. Houston got to stop and go and continue. They black flag Tommy Houston for pitting with the cars on the lead lap. Remember, the first lap that pit road is open is only for cars on the lead lap, and Houston may have thought he was. NASCAR disagreed.
Mike, we just got a call. They said Todd Bown is losing his brakes. And I wouldn't doubt several of these cars don't have that trouble today. It is so hot. There's a minimum of braking that you do. I mean, a maximum you can do on the cooling area. And, boy, they're going to run hot today.
Houston is all but stopped out of turn 2. And there you saw Joe Nemechek run right up the back bumper of Houston. Jimmy Spencer almost able to capitalize on that in the number 20 car, the Daly's first aid machine. 200 laps around this little quarter mile. Track used to be dirt, was converted to pavement a few years ago. They put on some good shows here every weekend. They play host to the Busch Series once a year. Nemechek getting underneath Troy Beebe. Still has Spencer as his shadow.
Boy, Spencer never really worked on that car. Every lap of practice, he was sideways all the way around this racetrack, and they've made a lot of gains with his car and picked it up.
That was the battle for 9th. Now we're with the race for 7th place. Trouble in 3. Ward Burton goes around and up to the fence.
Boy,
no caution. That's a surprise. Did not get a yellow.
No, he looped it and he kept going, so they did not throw the caution.
Burton stayed on the lead lap, but now is going a lap down to Jeff Gordon.
Or fighting like everything, trying not to go a lap down.
Bet.
It's going to be hard to hold that forward off. There he goes to the Jeff Gordon. Moved the inside, cleared him. They're going to go around Glanville on the outside.
Jerry Glanville's running about 3rd down and 7 right now. A long third, let's call it. 2 laps back. Jeff Gordon again taking off and sprinting away from this field. He owns 2 victories this season already at Atlanta and at Charlotte, looking for his first short track win. 46 of 200 laps complete. They're looking for a little shade down there. We'll be back. Welcome back to Volusia County Speedway. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Glenn Jarrett, losing lots of pounds running up and down pit road in the 100-degree heat today. While we were away, Mike Porter just drilled the 24 Troy Beebe and almost sent him out in the parking lot. There's Beebe's car. He managed to recover, but he's since gone a second lap down there to leader Jeff Gordon in the Bill Davis Baby Ruth Ford number 1.
Mike, he was headed all the way out of the parking lot, just like you said, after the ticket booth, and he got it back under control.
Trouble in 4. Chuck Bown goes around on the front bumper of Robert Pressley, and that will bring out a caution. Fourth one of the day, and it comes out at lap 53. 1990 champion Bown coming down pit road, as you see from the in-car camera. Let's have another look, see how this one got started.
Here they come. Presley's up under him off the corner. They got together coming up off the corner, turned Bown's car around, and right here they're both headed to the outside fence. They get together, the cars slide up the track, and they pin both of them against the wall. They made contact coming off that turn.
Looks like no serious damage, and here is Bown coming around the racetrack. So with this, the fourth caution of the day, Jeff Gordon's led every lap so far. Bobby Labonte right behind him. Those umbrellas you see in the grandstand are not for rain. They're parasols to keep the sun from beating down here at Volusia County. Packed house today. A lot of folks came over from the Speedway after watching Ernie Irvan win the 400 there. Here's another look.
Here they come, coming up off corner. Presley had a big run going right there, and he got into Chuck coming off the corner, and he just lifted Chuck's rear wheels off the ground, turned him around there, and then Presley and him go up the track and hit. You know, when a guy he's making a run off, going to make a run on him, and he just got into him up off the corner.
Our bumper cam did not like that one bit.
I don't know if we have a bumper cam. A while ago we almost lost it. I think that got it.
There's the in-car camera as you ride with Chuck Bown. He made a pit stop, as did Robert Pressley. Tommy Houston, Ward Burton, and Jeff Burton were both in twice. And Shauna Robinson in the Polaroid car. A new sponsor today on the Don Beverly machine was also on pit road. Glenn can maybe update us on some of those stops. And Kenny Wallace's car is still being worked on back there behind pit wall. Over. Here's a look at the top 10 as they're running under caution. Fourth one of the day, 58 laps complete. Gordon in the Ford, Labonte Chevrolet, and then further back there's David Bonnet showing up in the 10th spot in his Busch Grand National debut. Over at the Daytona International Speedway earlier today, Ernie Irvan won the Pepsi 400 over Sterling Marlin, the pole sitter. Dale Jarrett was third. Oh, here we go. Watch this.
Here's Inco. Here comes Presley making a run. They're going down. Here comes off the corner, and just like they said, lights are out. The party's over. You're going around. And then there's the in-car taking the lick on the front. So that's one of those deals you can't say, I didn't hit him.
Yeah, no, I guess not.
You got to figure out why you hit him when you do it, when you got it on all those cameras. But Robert's a good racer, and just trying his hardest to get around Chuck. Chuck had his hands full right there.
It's a racing incident there. We mentioned Dale Jarrett finished third over at Daytona today. Jeff Bodine, Bill Elliott fourth and fifth. Kenny Schrader, Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, and Davey Allison. That was the top 10.
You think we can get a cool suit for the booth here? I need a mold driving suit out.
Got to do something.
It's nice and warm up here, folks.
It's 100 outside. It's 120 here. It's about 140 inside those race cars.
One green and one lap.
Yep, the honor to King and to President over at Daytona today. President Busch was there, gave the command to fire engines. Richard Petty raced Daytona for the last time, led the first 3 or 4 laps. But they had him out making presentations to him for about an hour before the race started, and once it did, Richard had to climb out of the car from the heat.
I don't know that anyone could stand out there for an hour and then climb in a car and race. They pretty well used him up today.
Yeah.